Your old stories and your old identity are irrelevant. The name of the game is embodiment right now. We're in a stage in consciousness. Our expanded beings are quite literally about choosing the timeline that you feel is calling you forward. Your desires are God's blueprint for you. They're leading you, calling you, guiding you, pulling you towards your highest timeline. So if you allow yourself to just decide, choose it, and embody it, the rest falls away.
Yeah, it really is about like this new earth frequency that so many are tipping into now is about trusting in the unknown, being willing to follow the joy, the fun, the frequency. The frequency is the currency here, and that is what is leading. And it's really a fresh slate. So the image that was coming up when I was talking with Michelle is the Fool card in the Tarot, which it's like a brand new journey, and you're traveling light. The Fool just has like a knapsack with like hardly anything in it. It's not like the 10 of, what is it, the 10 of Wands or whatever at the end of the hard, arduous journey where he's like carrying all the baggage and everything. That you get to drop. There's no baggage coming into this. The only thing that gets to pass through to the new earth timeline with you is your truth, your authenticity, your divine expression, which is anchored in your truth. And that is what is being called by so many to be able to embody that, live that, be that unapologetically. And yeah, there's no baggage that can go with you here. So you're really traveling light. It's like a fresh start. It's the Fool card, right, of the Tarot. And that also symbolizes sometimes a little wild, a little even maybe foolish to what other people might judge or say. So you might have people in your experience that don't understand the journey that you're on or the ascension timeline, and they may be saying things. I hear this a lot. People, it doesn't make sense. What are you doing? Or it's not logical. And that's the thing about this is heart-centered creation. Heart-centered creation does not follow the logical mind of what makes sense. It's not putting everything in a row, planning everything 5 moves ahead, trying to figure everything out. And the more you try to do that, the more you will be hit with a wall of resistance, because the mind loves to do that.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Totally. Even recently, the word that's coming through is unlimited. You are unlimited. We are not limited to our old stories, our old ways of being. And I love what you just said was, it's moving from head to heart to feeling the presence in the now moment of what does love feel like? What is I call it the frequency of love. Your frequency is your currency. Like it's not so much the old operating system. We're all being called to rise and elevate our new OS. If you were to try to run your iPhone 16 on or new apps on like an old iPhone, it's not going to work. Like you get your new iPhone, you get your new operating system, because that's where all the programs can run smoothly. And I think realizing that you are unlimited, you're not tied to your past. The embodiment, when I say this, I've been talking a lot about this lately, embodiment it's your beingness, it's your state of consciousness, your state of being, what you're aware of and what you feel, and when you're in the present moment and you allow the truth of what's in your heart to come through, and you be it. You decide the identity, and the ultimate identity is the one. You are the one. So from that vantage point, as the one, as God, life, Mother Nature experiencing itself through you as you, the vessel that you are, you then can decide what timeline do I choose to tune to. There is no such thing as time as we know it. The linear time, that's the old 3D, maybe even 4D, but 5D, it's about states. You're moving states of consciousness, states of being is what I've been flirting a lot with.
Yeah, there was something that came up when you were talking. I just lost it.
Angels that remember things. Thank you for helping Sarah remember. It'll totally come.
It'll come back at some point.
It always does. So it's not about time. It's states of consciousness. And when you are aware, when you open up to the presence where you are at, and if you remember, just chime in.
Oh, well, yeah, I kind of got it for a second. When you were talking about stories, right? So when you're talking about beingness, this can sound very annoying if you're approaching this from the egoic mind, trying to figure it out. But just a simple, like even reflective exercise is like when you're going through your day-to-day, or you're going to the grocery store, or you're driving or whatever, it's like, what are you operating from? Like, who is it that's looking out of your eyes? Is it the story of the wounded self? Is it the one that has the lack and the fear and the anxiety and the worry and all the things? Or is it the one that is anchored here and now? And if you can come back to that and allow yourself to be there, and rest and abide in that more and more. This is where the divine downloads even come from. This is where you're opening up to be a clearer vessel. This is when your next aha moment pops in, versus the story of, I need to figure this out. I need to fix this. How do I do this? How do I go, So it's really about like recognizing it's closer than close to you. It's like, what is looking out of your eyes right now? What are you being as you even go through your day to day? Just the most mundane daily tasks.
Yeah.
That's
perfect. It's so good to just remember. I've had to continue to remember, because even in day to day, like even today, I was telling you, Sarah, that the old is seductive. Like sometimes it'll want to.
It's very seductive.
It's very seductive. It's like that toxic relationship that is not good for you, but keeps coming back up. In those moments, like you mentioned, just being present, looking out, and coming back to wholeness, remembering who is the essence of me, like looking out at all of this.
Yeah.
And then, is it the wounded me, the part of me that still holds on to the story? What did I gain? A lot of times we hold on to the old stories and we don't embody our highest self, the version of us that God is calling us forward to, because we're gaining something. In NLP, we call it secondary gain.
Yeah, and then there's something that's coming up. I wanted to piggyback on that before I lost it. Most likely, if you're listening to this, you've been operating from an identity of conditioning and patterns your whole life, and this is what's happening on a collective. We're all collectively shifting into a higher dimension. But what happens is you have this identity that's used to a certain timeline. You're shifting into a whole new timeline, which is, like Michelle said, a whole new operating system. But here's what happens. There's like a gravitational pull, because the old story, the old narrative, the old timeline, the old way of being, the old way of existing, the old way of doing things, the old way of earning, the old labels, the old all of it, and especially hooks around anything, mental or emotional hooks around fear, lack, scarcity, unworthiness, or any of those. Mm-hmm. They're like custom tailored hooks designed specifically for you to hook you back into the matrix, into the 3D paradigm. And the 3D paradigm is earmarked with panic and fear and survival mechanisms. So what happens is, as you are taking off, so to speak, I share this a lot. You've hopped on the New Earth bus. If you've listened to this, the next stop that the bus is getting off at is your divine reality. Yes. There's several different stops along the way that your old identity would love you to get off on. It would love you to get off on the stop of limitation. It would love you to get off on the stop of scarcity. It would love to get off on the stop of, let's figure this out, I need to fix a few more things about myself. There's all of these stops along the way, but if you've landed here, it's because you're not, you can play, you're going to get back on the bus eventually. So what I'm kind of suggesting is that be aware of this, that there is kind of like a gravitational pull. So if you think of the atmosphere of the Earth, there's a gravitational pull that a rocket has to go through before it can get out into space.
That's good.
And this is the matrix pulling you down as you start to take off and you start to lift off. And it's going to pull, and it's going to pull on your insecurities. It's going to pull on your fears. It's going to pull on your doubts. It's going to pull on your worries. It's going to pull on your stories and your narratives. And it's going to be really juicy and sexy to jump back into those. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to recognize that with presence and awareness through breath and being here now to see that that's what's happening, because there is a gravitational pull that will pull you back. The good news is that eventually you get to the out of the atmosphere, and then the gravitational pull is gone, and you just get to be free. You just get to be you. You just get to live unencumbered by the fears and the lack and the scarcity that is all earmarked by living by the dualistic mind.
Oh, so well said. Mic drop. To piggyback off of that, when you mentioned, and I've used this analogy before, when a rocket is taking off, it requires thrusters. That's because when it's getting into the thickness of the atmosphere, it needs the extra launch pad to go. Mm-hmm. Eventually, when it gets past certain points, those thrusters have to fall off. They become dead weight.
Oh yeah,
they're good. Not relevant anymore.
They're not relevant. That's good.
Not relevant. That's the old identity.
That's the old story.
It's the old story. Oh, it gives me chills. That was so perfect. Like, thank you, Spirit.
I love it.
That was really good.
You can't even plan it. You can't make this up. No. You can't make this up.
Well, and I'm so glad you presence that, because for anyone watching this, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. You're God, infinite intelligence, life force experiencing itself through you, enjoying the vessel, like you had said earlier, like being curious about itself through you, the unique experience and expression as you.
That's all God wants to do.
That's it. If you're exploring others, if you're exploring states of consciousness from that for denser, it's okay. Just think of yourself as Dora the Explorer. You're just exploring. You're not effed up. You're not stuck in a loop. Like, it may feel that way because that's the sexy, seductive patterning of the old, but those rocket thrusters that got you to a point, those identities have to fall. So I had it exactly happen to me today, and you just summarized it. I am right on the cusp of, I'm not right on. I am in the expanded self, but I teeter, I toggle back and forth sometimes. Oscillation.
As you get through the
100%.
atmosphere, or through the gravitational pull, so to speak.
I was in it today. I was all the marred with the doubt, the disbelief, the, oh, who are you, the confusion. And it's like, I had to take a step back and, just like you presenced earlier, okay, is this the old story? This is I can just feel it to free it. Just be with whatever it is and then decide. Okay, like, you don't override your feelings. Like, your feelings is just energy in motion is emotion.
And it's really the identification with the mind. The mind is going to be able to custom tailor hooks for you, emotionally and mentally. So if you start to see those as like little hooks, like to unhook every time one comes up, it's just an unhooking in order to purify your vessel even more, so you can hold more frequency and more light. So those are all opportunities to unhook, but there has to be awareness around it. And so you may go down a rabbit hole for a while and allow the mind. And sometimes it's like, like Abraham Hicks I used to listen to, and she's like, this hold on, it'll be over soon.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, if you jump out without a parachute, you're like,
you don't always want to resist. You don't want to resist. Like,
no, don't resist.
Ascension is really not resisting what is, and actually allowing what is to be there. It's the resistance to what is that causes more friction, and then layers friction on top of friction. When you can just accept that, okay, there happens to be fear here, or there happens to be worry, there has to be anxiety, and you're no longer pushing against it, or you're no longer layering a coping mechanism on top of it, which looks like an addiction, or eating food, or numbing out to Netflix, or whatever it is for you, a glass of wine,
or looking up answers outside, or like watching astrology or angel numbers. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love that stuff.
Anything
where you think it's outside of you. And
that's a trap.
Totally, and I'm glad you shared
that takes you down a whole nother. But you'll come back.
Because you're just exploring.
You'll get back on the bus.
You'll
get back on the bus.
And it's like, there's no resistance. You brought up something really important. Obviously, everyone knows that what we resist persists, but it's a frequency game, and you and I both echoed that. Like, frequency, it's frequency. That's the name of the game. So if you find yourself feeling a certain way, but now you're mad that you're feeling the certain way, you're layering. It's like just another ego hook.
It's like judgment. Now, when you judge yourself, you're layering ego on top of ego. And
so radical self-acceptance, radical love. Oh, look at me, Dora the Explorer, going down a rabbit hole that I was exploring that state of consciousness for a little bit. Okay, well, who the fuck am I? Let me remember and step into
And truth. As you remember, you go less and less down those rabbit holes. As you come home to presence, and as you embody your goddess frequency, your God essence, your God power that lives within you. Your God power doesn't play small and doesn't, like, give all of the power away, right? Like, it's fully empowered, fully discerning, fully on point. And the more you anchor into presence, the less you go down those rabbit holes. But the mind will tell you, and this is one of the hooks, is how it stays front and center, driving the show for you. If this resonates, is the mind will tell you, like, being in presence is boring, or it'll, as you're anchored in presence, it'll find all the different ways to, like, hook you back out of it. So you just have to have hyper discernment and what I call devotion to the truth, to the ultimate truth. There has to be, like, a burning devotion to want to know the truth for yourself, to want to experience your divine greatness, to want to experience through your vessel what it means to be fully divinely embodied in your truth. And if you have that unwavering devotion, that's God's desire for you. And the natural unfolding of that is going to look unique and different to every single person.
That's so good. That's so good. Thank you for sharing that too. Something that came up was, so Sarah and I, we'll share a story on our origin story of how we actually met, but we're both dancers, and we both go to the same
Well,
dance
I don't know
class.
if I would claim myself as a dancer,
Well,
but
listen,
dance classes.
we go to
very
dance classes and we're dancers. Like we go and we dance. Like that's
Yeah,
why that's a fun expression. But something in dance, and I used to cheer for the NFL. So as a professional dancer, something that you learn when you practice a routine over and over again, or when we go to dance class, the repetition of the songs and the dances that we do over and over again, that's called muscle memory. It's rooted and wired into your body. So when you hear or perform that dance again, it comes naturally in second nature. Just think about the old identity, the old versions of you. You just have muscle memory around the old version. So the more you practice the new dance of the new identity that you're embodying and you're choosing, and you're rooted in the truth of who you truly are and your highest timeline, the more you practice it over time, it's just going to get easier.
It becomes
second nature.
It becomes your main set point.
Your new operating system.
Yeah, your new operating. It's the new operating system of that and then it becomes so. Like, it feels like effort to go into the old story. It feels like effort to go into the old narrative or go down that rabbit hole. It starts to feel so, like there's so much resistance to that. It's like, it just feels so out of alignment and so heavy that you just will stop doing it because it doesn't make any sense to keep punishing yourself and going down those rabbit holes. It just feels lighter, easier, more fun, more playful to not do that anymore. And it just becomes almost impossible to go down those rabbit holes after a while.
Drop a comment below if this is resonating with you. If you know that you're in, like you can feel it with every fiber of your being that you're already anchoring into your new timeline, but sometimes you vacillate or oscillate back.
Yeah.
Drop a comment below if this resonates. Also, if whoever comes to mind right now, share this video because trust that they're meant to hear it too. We're all on this ever expanding, amazing journey together as God waking up to itself. So the more that we share the love, it's not like Sarah and I always talk about unity consciousness. Like it's about love, unity, compassion, kindness, connection. Remember, like these videos are to help inspire everyone to their highest self. So if someone comes to mind, share it.
And it speaks to a layer even beyond the mind, just the frequency of being in conversations like this, whether it's our conversation that you're joining or other communities and things like that. Start to have some really healthy discernment around where you're placing your awareness, because your awareness is is your superpower, what you're focusing on. You literally are collapsing timelines around that. This isn't woo-woo, this is quantum physics and mechanics at the same time. So the environments that you're in, what you're consuming on all levels, mental, emotional, what you're watching on TV, like all those things. Some of this you probably already know. I don't have to repeat, say this to you if you're listening and tuning into this, but it can be, there can still be a lot of the things that are very addictive to the mind that will pull you back into giving your power away. And you're giving your power away when you're looking for external proof outside of you instead of, and you've likely done this, we've all done this, where you've watched something and it just confirms what you already know. So at a certain point, what used to guide you on the journey, like even the synchronicities, those are still fun. We see them all the time, right? They're little winks from God. You are the synchronicity. But even those, you don't need those anymore. You won't look for those anymore. They'll just be like little signposts and they'll be fun. They'll be fun, but you won't need to seek them out anymore. And you, at some point you realize if you're just tuning into something to just confirm what you already know, then maybe at some point it might be good to just trust that inner knowing.
Your 3D, your reality that you're experiencing, your manifestations, they're not your rewards. They're your feedback. 3D reality is an extension of your consciousness. And so, and I've done it for many years and it was fun through our stages of evolution and awakening. Like we do look at the angel numbers, the astrologies, the readings, the external looking for validation, but the shift that all of us are in now, or making, are aligning with, it's just remembering your manifestations are not your reward. They're quite literally just feedback of what you're choosing and deciding and declaring.
And that's one of the last threads is like the need for the need to control or manipulate or understand or make sense of what's happening or try to figure it out. And so that's like one of the last threads that will come in the back door is the ego will tell you a lot of stories on why it still makes sense to go give your power away, to have someone else tell you your potential or your out or your, what you could be or how you could be, like at a certain point you have to realize that no one knows this journey that you're supposed to be on other than you, and you don't even know it. That's the most frustrating thing on this, is because it's really about anchoring into the unknown. And what used to feel scary, like stepping into the unknown and feeling uncertain about things, actually becomes the most magical, limitless place to play, where trying to figure things out actually becomes very constrictive and feels very rigid and limiting, like you're putting on a straitjacket. So it's like you, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's...
No, that makes sense. It's perfect.
There was something, I was tying it in somehow,
The
but
thread,
I don't
the
remember.
last thread,
Oh, yeah,
is that
that's
where
like,
you're confirming that you're looking
yeah, the
for
last thread is you're still looking at the reflection, which is what the
which
world
is, the mirror.
and looking at it as your barometer of what you should be doing or how you should be doing, or like some kind of proof outside of you, when you are the proof. And when you fully trust in your knowing, and that is the only proof that you need, you take all of your God power back and you begin to operate in this reality as the declaring what it is you're here to experience, because you're no longer giving your power away and leaking your frequency everywhere through seeking it outside of yourself.
And that's why your past stories are irrelevant. You quite literally can just choose who you're being and embody that. Be it, speak it, act like it, think from it. If the old seductive hooks try to come up, it's okay. Love it. Radical acceptance. Oh, okay. Love that part of me that was the muscle memory from the before, but this is who I am. The great I am. I am is proclaiming this, using God force to proclaim a state of consciousness and a state of being. And so that's why you can just choose the new state to exist in.
Yeah, and the last thing, or I don't know if it's the last thing, but the entire 3D matrix is set up to get you seeking outside of yourself for validation, whether it's through relationships, money, perceived success, accolades, and all of the things. That there's no problem with any of that, but we're literally conditioned and trained through our just life itself and society, and just the way this whole thing is rigged. That, I mean, if you just look at look at social media, look at magazines, look at, like, everything is about getting more, being more, doing more, achieving more, having something else outside of yourself so that you can deem yourself worthy. What I'm and Michelle are proposing is that you are already the one. You are already worthy.
Already the one.
You're already
just experiencing itself.
Yeah.
You are her or him, just witnessing your becoming. So
when you realize that the 3D matrixy world is there to hook you, and is going to be there to try to hook you back, and is illusory at best, you really get to start to play with reality as moldable clay, when you get to create based on your true heart, soul desires.
Yeah. And 3D, it's not bad. It was the construct that our souls decided to play in, but just like the rocket thrusters, those versions of us, it's now dense and heavy. So 4D into the 5D, 50, which is still going to look like this, except you're in an expanded heart. You're in your highest expression of oneness, knowing you're the one, not looking outside of self.
Yeah. Yay. So I'm so excited for the rest of 2000. This is being filmed in 2025, and then this is a 9-year, it's an ending year. We can see that probably a lot within our own experience, but also on a collective level. Things that are not in alignment, things that are not in truth are being illuminated, and things will be, things are being removed that are not rooted in truth. But we're moving into that. That's a part of the process to build anew, and you literally have that opportunity right now in every moment to build anew, like you're starting from scratch. And there may be things that fall away, but that's only because, or things that you've been clinging to for safety, security, validation, or approval, and they will fall away if they're not in alignment with your highest divine reality. And so there is a trust and knowing, and what being able to witness it while it's happening gives you that extra edge of being able to trust the process and not get sucked into it.
So good. Drop a comment below to claim your highest timeline. Just write claimed, and also share this video, like, subscribe. Let us know, what are some things you've been experiencing and exploring in this realm as you've expanded more into your heart, into ascension, into the 5th dimensional realms.
Yay.
Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.